Hi, welcome to Shamzozo's Randoms. Today I'm going to be talking about domestic violence against women. I'm going to touch on what I know regards to that or what I've experienced. I mean, as in, I've heard. There's so many domestic violence that's happening in homes. Could be with partners that we live with, it could be with husbands, it could be with boyfriends. um, One thing I just realized is what causes it. It could be because there's a lot of there's jealousy involved, or there's because somebody doesn't trust someone, or because they feel like their other partner overpowers them. For example, if a woman is successful, or if a woman is more educated than the man, or if their self-esteem is quite higher, sometimes men feel like as if the woman is actually controlling them. So again, it could be because some women as well, at times they sort of like expect quite a lot, and they become rude to their man. But then what I'm going to say today is there is two types that I feel like I know and I've seen and I've experienced, which is physical abuse and emotional abuse. Physical abuse is when somebody starts beating you up or using any weapon on you and actually harming you. That's when you can actually tell there's a lot of women that have been involved in physical domestic abuse, but you find that they still hang around. Is it because they are afraid to move out, or is it because they feel like they are entitled to be with a person, or they fear, or maybe if I can say fear of the unknown, that makes them stay and not move out, or not even report it or talk about it. Or sometimes it's caused by lack of communication. It could be anger as well that's involved in the relationship. And then there's emotional abuse, which is when somebody use vulgar languages, or they sort of like undermine you when they talk to you, and it becomes sort of like a norm to a woman, because the person is a partner and they feel like, okay, they cannot say anything, because if I speak back or if I talk back, I'm sort of like embarrassing him. But you find along the line as it goes, the woman will be sort of like more getting depressed. They start off saying, okay, I've got stress, I'm stressed, or they not actually say to reasons why it's happening, or they're not talking to anybody. They sort of try to, they withdraw from the families, they withdraw from friends or anyone else that is prone to see that they are going through all those kind of abuse in the home. So what I'll say is I'm still wondering myself, why is it it's so difficult for someone to move out when they're in such an experience of life? Is it because they fear that when they, especially, okay, I can say maybe when somebody's got children with someone, they'll actually live under that abuse and say, oh, because I've got children, I cannot move out. Oh, my children love their dad, they cannot move out. Or I cannot do anything without him. It's because they've sort of like become so dependent to that person. And when once you become so dependent, a lot of them, they sort of like have an attachment that doesn't with that attachment, is very difficult to disattach from the person, from their partner. And that is very actually very difficult. You find even children in the home, they grow under the same kind of domestic violence, and as they grow, it becomes a norm to them, it becomes a usual thing. And most of this domestic violence actually cause people to commit suicide, or to murder each other, or to do something harmful to one another person. And it's very, very disturbing. But I would love to know, why is it we cannot come out of that relationship as women if you can speak out about it. Obviously I haven't gone into depth about this whole domestic violence, but because I'm sort of like just imagining how would it be if we lived in a world of domestic violence free, and if our husbands or our boyfriends or our partners understood that sometimes you do not need to use all those vulgar language to sort of like correct me, to speak to me regards to any matter arising, or sort of like if I say, oh, I want to do this, and then somebody like, oh, what would you do? It's too late for you, or sort of like to undermine me. And again, why would it be easy to speak or to talk in a proper way without using any physical abuse, or without actually beating up somebody because they have said something that you did not like? I'll call up to say, please, if you've got anything to speak about, this is just a tip of the story that I just wanted to speak about on domestic violence.